Hello, my name is Danny Pistorio. In my observation, I have seen how communication theory is prevalent in our daily lives. In his article, Philosophical Approaches to Communication, Anderson describes cognitive dissonance theory. This theory is classified as a communication theory because even though it does not deal directly with messages, it deals with logical thinking and information seeking, which also directly impacts behavior, which can be measured. According to Psychology Today, the theory of cognitive dissonance helps explain why people sometimes go to great lengths to account for thoughts, words, and behaviors that seem to clash. When one learns new information that challenges a deeply held belief, I started to think about influences in media and popular culture that parallels this theory of cognitive dissonance. For example, I was watching an episode of Showtime's Shameless, and one of the more popular characters, Lip, is constantly seen smoking a cigarette. There are very little scenes where he is not smoking or lighting a cigarette. For a moment, I started thinking about cigarettes. Even though I have never smoked in my life, smoking is so prevalent in this show that I briefly considered a moment of smoking, even though I have been taught my whole life that smoking is bad and causes life-threatening problems. As I continued watching the show, I realized that the characters themselves were also conflicted with previously engraved perceptions within their relationships and actions. The show centers around a family where the patriarch exhibits behaviors that are not always appropriate. Through previous cognitions, the members of the family understand that the behavior is wrong and began to ostracize him. The characters also deal with relationships involving fidelity and conflict. In addition to the show, I've experienced this in my own life. After seeing many friends and family smoking cigarettes and the effects I started to see in them, I was very affected by it. Through my teenage years, smoking became something that was admired and prevalent and that had a strong influence on me. I decided that instead of smoking, I would take a different route, the Juul. The Juul has become one of the most popular tobacco-based products today. Although this was at first a healthier alternative, I, as long as the rest of the world, have learned otherwise. In the end, both are the same, yet contrast themselves completely. Through this observation, I learned how cognitive dissonance is reflected in daily life, including television.